Let's start writing some code. The first thing we're going to talk about are how do we create these blueprints or these classes, and how do we create instances or objects of those classes. So let's look at some code here. I'm going to assume that part of your PHP knowledge is how to set up your own environment. If you don't have a development environment, go back and take a look at the PHP for Beginners course. There is a video on how to create your own development environment. What I've done is I've used this application development kit that I created. It's at rcraven/kit on GitHub. And it's pretty easy to do. There's just some simple instructions here. You create a directory, you can clone this, run an install script, and then run kit new, and instead of Laravel, you would say kit new PHP. And you're going to end up with what you see over here on the left. And the only thing you have to do then is you run kit up, and that'll start your application environment. Now mine's already running, so it's going to find that it's already running. So again, that's at github.com/rcraven/kit. Okay, so if we take a look and see what we have here, there is a demo application, and I have this index.php file. And the only thing I'm doing in here is I'm echoing out classes and objects. You can see the output of that. Okay, so let's get going. So the first thing is we want to create our blueprints or our classes. The syntax to create a class is pretty simple. We use the class keyword, and you're going to name your class. When we're learning object-oriented programming, it's always good to try to model something in real life. And so what we're going to do is we're going to model a dog, because we know that dogs have certain features, and it's going to be easy for us to talk about those features and implement them in an object-oriented way. So we're going to call this class dog, and to finish off the class, we just have to have our code block. Anything inside this code block is scoped to this particular class. Anything outside of that has a global scope. Now this particular class right now doesn't do a lot. We're going to keep building out this class as we model our dog. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about how we can create an instance of this class. So down here, we're going to have instances, maybe one, maybe two, or these are called objects. If I want to create an instance of this dog class, I'm going to call this dog, and maybe this is dog number 1. And the syntax is I use the new keyword, and then I tell it the class name that I want to create a new instance of. Now I have a dog 1 instance. What I'd like to be able to do is echo out this instance over here so we can visually see what's going on under the hood. Let's try naively and just try to echo out dog 1, and let's see what we get here. I'm going to refresh my page, and you get this fatal error. It has some error. It says have this object of class dog, and I couldn't convert it to a string. And we ran into this before in our beginner class. What I'm going to do here is we're going to have to convert this to a string. One of the ways you can do this is you can var dump this dog 1, and let's see what that looks like. Now you can see I have an object of type dog. This is the first object in this application, and you can see that there's nothing inside the bracket. So that represents that we have these empty code block here. And we start to add properties and methods, you'll see things in here. Now I can easily add another instance of a dog. So now I have 2 dogs. I have dog 1 and dog 2. And let me go ahead down here and echo out. We'll do the same thing. We'll var dump dog 2. And you can see I got 2 instances. Now I'm going to clean this up a little bit because we're going to be doing a lot of this. I'm going to create a function up here that we're just going to use all the time. And this function is going to be called dump. And it's going to take one of our objects. It can be an instance of any kind of class at all. And we're going to do the var dump. It's like that. So I could use it just like this. So this is already call and echo for me. So instead of call and echo, I can just call dump. That will dump the dog. And that'll dump the dog. So let's run this again. I should get the same thing again. And I do. Nothing has changed. Now it is complaining here because var dump, technically, I don't need the echo here. And I really should just do that. And that should be the same thing again. To make this a little prettier, what I'm going to do is we're going to echo an opening pre-tag. And I'm going to down here echo a closing pre-tag. Pre-tags in HTML just allow you to dump some code. And let's clean this up a little bit. So now you can see I have this object of type dog. This is the first object, that's dog number 1, and this is the second object. This is 0, I believe indicates how many properties are part of this object. And you can see that I have empty brackets here, so there's no properties in there at all. But now I have a nice easy way to dump out any objects that I want to explore. We can create other blueprints easily also. So maybe you have a cat blueprint or a cat class. And then down here, we can add some cats to our mixture. So maybe I have cat 1 is a new cat, and then I could dump out cat 1. And so we would see that cat 1 appear, and you can see it's the third object that we've created in our program. So now we know how to create the blueprints or create the classes, and we also understand how to create instances of those classes.